When booking your cruise, you either book through a travel agent or a third party like Expedia or Orbitz, or you go straight to the cruise line. Regardless of which method you're using to book your cruise, you will need an online account with that cruise so you can get certain things done. And this video, I want to explain to you all the things you can do in your online account because I'm going on a cruise with some friends from Galveston, Texas here pretty soon. And there have been some really good questions that they've asked, and I figured I share it with you here in my cruise prepping guide series, where I also have a free checklist and videos to go along with it so that you know exactly what to do to prepare for your cruise. What can you do in your online account? First thing I did for one of my friends is I got them a loyalty number with the cruise line. So with this loyalty number, it will track all the cruises that you go on, and as you go on more cruises, you will get certain perks. And the perks differ between the cruise lines, and we can, if you want to have a video on that later, just leave a comment below where I can explain what perks I have gotten for different cruise lines. I'm going on a cruise in less than 30 days. If I have another cruise planned this year, can I put it in the same online account? And yes, you can. You can handle multiple reservations and your one cruise account so you can switch between them. One thing that I've also been able to do in the past is when cruising in a group, I would also take because I handled a lot of things for my family, so I'd also take their reservation numbers and add them to my online account so that I can see things for them as well. If you decided to pay your cruise in monthly installments instead of paying it all in full, this is also the place where you will continue to make those payments or to just pay the remaining balance. So you'll be able to see what you have left as far as a balance on your cruise so that you stay up on that. In the cruise prepping guide that I told you about, one time we missed that final deadline and our cruise reservation got canceled on us. So we really want to make sure that you avoid that. So sign in online, make sure to keep up to date on that so that you don't miss your reservation or get it canceled. On your online account, this is where you'll be able to do things like book shows. Some cruises, especially the larger ships, have Broadway type shows where you do have to book those ahead of time. And sometimes there's also like aqua shows where they're jumping off a diving board in the back of the ship into water. And if you have a cruise line that does that or ship that does that, definitely take advantage to see that show because it is really cool and I highly suggest it. One of the best shows I've seen on a ship so far. And another thing is if you want to do things like shore excursions where you go zip lining or go to history tours, food tours, exploring caves, beach excursions, those type of things, you can book them ahead of time in your online account as well. If you plan on doing things like a spa package where you can get a facial or a massage and just treat yourself while you're on the ship, get a nail appointment, hair appointment, those type of things, you can also book that through your online account. So far, every cruise I've been on has given me the option to purchase specialty dining before I get on the ship. Usually these type of things cost less when you book them ahead of time rather than the spur of the moment. So if you want to book one of those reservations, you can do that as well online. And there are multiple packages available. For example, the internet packages are available for purchase online. Again, cheaper if you book it ahead of the cruise. There's also drink packages. And when people typically hear drink packages, they think it's solely alcohol. There are different alcohol packages available, but there's also, if you're someone who drinks soda, soda is not free on the cruise. So if you want soda, you would need to purchase soda on a as you want it basis, or just go ahead and get the package where for the whole cruise, you can just get as much soda as you want. So that's another option for you on the cruise to get as a package. Some cruise lines also offer a photo package where if you pre-book this ahead of time, you don't have to worry about what your photos cost because you already paid for them. This is also helpful so that you're not surprised with the bill at the end of your cruise. You're prepaying as many things as you can ahead of time. Some cruise lines will also have a special access or a VIP treatment that I'm going to call it. I know Royal Caribbean has something called the Key where it helps you skip lines and get certain treatment that you wouldn't have gotten otherwise unless you were staying in a room that was like a suite. So if you want to have this treatment, I hope that one day I get to experience it, but by the time I looked at it, it was sold out on my cruise. So if you want this, make sure to check that ahead of time and early after booking your cruise. If you want to go to the arcade, you can also get your arcade credits ahead of time, especially if you have little ones that you think will be enjoying playing those games. I mean, I say little ones, however, I think I would actually enjoy the arcade quite a bit, so if you want to enjoy it yourself, you can get those credits too. Ooh, a fun part about your online account is if you wanted to surprise the person that you're cruising with a gift, like chocolate covered strawberries, flowers, or room decorations, you can do that through your online account as well. And then once you get to the ship, you can have say, ooh, where did that come from? And they wouldn't know that it was you until you told them and had this really special moment, and I think that would be cute. I think the most important thing about your online account is your boarding documents. These documents are what help you get on the ship. And in order to get your boarding documents, you have to go through the check-in process. And this process involves things such as putting in your passport number into the online into their system. If you are going to be using a credit card, putting in that number, taking a health questionnaire is usually part of it, and telling them exactly when you're going to arrive at port, telling them what time you want to choose for arriving at port as well. For example, for the cruise that I'm taking in Galveston, our check-in time I believe is at 11:30 in the morning. I chose the earliest time available because I want to get on the ship as soon as possible because I want to have fun. I'm also staying in Galveston the night before so that if there are any flight delays or lost luggage, I'm there ahead of time, so I chose the earliest time available because I'll already be in Galveston for my cruise. This is also where you will get your luggage tags put on your suitcase so that when you get to the cruise port and hand off your suitcase, they know exactly what room to deliver it to, so that when you get on your cruise, you can so that you don't have to take your suitcase with you through security. It's a little bit of a burden to do so. I prefer to just have a little backpack, which I talk about in my cruise carry-on video, where I say I just have a little backpack because I like to go to the buffet and I don't want suitcases with me taking up space and just, you know, we're ready to cruise. We're not trying to have any extra weight on us when we step on the ship. So you'll get your boarding pass and luggage tags when you have your online account. And if you are curious about anything with cruise prepping, click the video up here. But if you want to dive into what I do for packing, then go ahead and click the video you see here. But the second thing on our to-do list